Hey everyone, this is the Mark Shields, and this is the bonus episode from Mark Out of 10, detailing the life, well, the career of the icon Sting, and also watching his final match. Sit back and enjoy. Okay, but the reason why we're here this evening, well, is because it's Thursday and we always do Mark Out of 10. But, the specifics for this particular evening is we're going to talk about one of the true greats, like a real contender for being on the Rushmore of wrestling, right? We're going to talk about Sting. As I say, I haven't done as much prep as I would have loved for this because fuck my real job. But so we're going to go through it. Hawxy, obviously you're very knowledgeable, so you can steer this. I've got a format of what we can talk about. I don't know if you want to touch upon different things. So we're going to talk about his early days in wrestling. What do you remember of early days Sting?
So, I mean, if we want to go like right early and sort of look at the history of Sting's career,
Mm-hmm.
he started started wrestling in 1985. He used the name, I think it was Blade Runner Flash, or Flash was his initial name. We've spoke about this before. So it was a Californian promotion, independent promotion, is where he sort of trained, and he was tag team with Jim Hellwig, who was Blade Runner Justice or something. There was Justice and Flash with their teams. So I think we've spoken about this before. You had those the sliding doors moments
Mm-hmm.
with wrestling. Steve Borden, Sting, Flash went the WCW route, and Jim Hellwig went the bodybuilder UWF, or whatever. Was it UWF? Not UWF. What was
Yeah,
the
UWF.
yeah body the body stuff, and then ended up obviously in the WWF. So, and it quite easily could have been the other way around, because there was interest in WCW were initially interested in Hellwig, in the
Mm-hmm.
who would have been the Warrior. So obviously Dingo Warrior. It's ridiculous, isn't it? 1986, they were, yeah, and JCP WCW was 1987. So it was, he wasn't on that sort of quote unquote independent wrestling scene for very, very long at all. Sting had his first match 87 as Sting, Surfer Sting, with the white hair and the big blonde hair and the face paint. And that was when he sort of started that journey. Really, it was Dusty who sort of put him in place. So Dusty Rhodes who put him in place to be like, this is going to be like the next guy. We need to put the rocket ship to this guy's back, and that was it basically. Clash of Champions, Sting, Ric Flair, was March of 1988. The NWA World Championship, 45-minute time limit draw. So he didn't win. Flair didn't lose. He didn't win, but he was a made man, literally then from then. So that
Yeah.
Clash of Champions, that initial Clash of Champions main event was Ric Flair, quote unquote, passing the torch to Sting. It was this guy. He is going from this day forth. He is a made guy. He is going to be a big deal, because he was on a television show. Clash of Champions wasn't a pay-per-view. It was
Yeah.
national television. Huge ratings. I don't know the rating information for this, but I guarantee it would have been like a fucking 10 or a 12 rating, which is millions and millions of people watching this show. And that was it, like a 45-minute draw with Ric Flair on television at that time for the title. You were made. Very, very simple. And he was off to the races. That's where it starts. Basically, is that match is what started Sting to be the big deal that he is.
I think it's interesting is with certain wrestlers throughout history. It's like you either have talent, you've got the charisma and talent to get over, or you've got just an opportunity, like you're in the right place at the right time. With
Mm-hmm.
Sting, it was all of the above,
Yeah.
right? He's one of the very few, and there are very few in wrestling for that.
Mm-hmm.
And that's like you say, that's how it starts, and that he just continues to like sort of ascend through that, and then we go into the WCW, sort of the glory days of WCW, and a lot said about Flair and, in terms of the Flair Steamboat feud, but Sting is so pivotal in how successful WCW was in the 90s, right? It's like again, he was their star. Yeah, it's like,
Hmm.
when you think of like WWF stars or AEW stars now, it's like Sting was the WCW star. Whenever anybody says WCW, there's probably 2, 3 names that you think of straight away, and Sting's one of them, right?
Yes. Yeah.
There's so many iconic feuds that Sting had within WCW. Flair, as you mentioned there, was like he's the first match in that sort of era, and then all the way through in terms of NWO is another one, yeah, which we'll probably talk about later on in the list at some point, I would imagine. But in terms of it going from, we had Surfer Sting, as you called him, but the most famous gimmick through the WCW days has got to be Crow Sting, right? And you
Yes.
spoke about that. Was it in the feuds one? I think we were talking about was the
Hmm.
Sting feud, and just how that year-long feud was just for you was amazing. Yeah,
Yeah. So I don't want to go too soon on this because we
no,
probably might be potentially talking about this a little bit later
yeah,
on in the show. Potentially, little peek behind the curtain. There, I'll let you guys decide. But it had to be right. But that 1996 into 1997, that, as you say, that 12 months, probably a little bit more
yeah,
than 12 months, because it was the initial, like, who is he going to side with? Is he going to help WCW guys out? Is he going to do this? Like, whatever. It was probably a little bit longer than that. Um, that image of him up in the rafters with the crow sting, with the whole gimmick and the trench coat, and just chilling in there for fucking ages. Um, it's synonymous with WCW. He's sort of the crow sting with the white face paint and the makeup for longer than he was anything else.
yeah,
So it was like 1996 till now. Like, he
yeah.
started as Surfer Sting in 1985 till 1996. So it was 9 years. So he's gone from 9 years. Yes, my maths is okay. 85, yeah, give or take.
Yeah, yeah,
1996 to now. It's like nearly 30 years, right?
yeah,
So it's a long, long, long time, and he was synonymous as that scorpion crow view of. I mean, he was face painted up, dark, mysterious, didn't say much, whatever. That was the real. We talk about people when they reinvent themselves. We've spoke about this before. Guys like Chris Jericho, or people like Hulk Hogan, or like these people who every so often they'll sort of change their presentation or their gimmick or whatever. That's got to be one of the most, probably the greatest gimmick change in history,
yeah,
probably, in terms of that change of presentation. He's sort of done little bits and bobs later on when he sort of done the Joker stuff in TNA, and I mean, just little bits and maybe a little bit more on the mic or whatever. But the core stinger was that crow sting, that white face paint, that makeup, and it was so cool. It was cool
yeah.
as fuck, right? It was
He
cool
was
as
good.
fuck.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think you're absolutely right. At his core, he was always that. He was that Sting, right? And again, it's probably something we'll talk about when we talk about WWE
Hmm.
when he went to there. But it, it it's similar with Taker, right? In terms
Yeah,
of, at his core, he was the dead man, but he made tweaks to it. And Sting was exactly the same, right? He made those tweaks. There were some that were a bit left field, like you say, Joker and TNA. Yeah, I think when you think WCW in terms of the success WCW had, and WCW were successful, okay, look, we can't take that away from them. I mean, it was a shit in
for
the bed
83
show.
weeks, they were the biggest wrestling company ever
And yep,
to have
absolutely.
graced the face of the planet.
And then it went downhill, and we'll again probably talk about some of the shit that happened in WCW. And then obviously WCW ended. I don't know if you've got anything else to add, if you've got any other stuff.
I was just going to like run through really quickly, like, some of the people who he had feuds
Mm,
with in WCW.
yep.
So obviously, famously, Ric Flair. He had feuds with the Great Muta, as they
Mm-hmm.
would say. He tagged with Rhodes against the Road Warriors when the Road Warriors turned heel, for the titles. He had feuds with Kevin Nash. He had feuds with Ricky Steamboat. He had feuds with Vader. He had feuds with fucking hell, Hulk Hogan. He had feuds with everybody. You look at that list of people, that's like the who's who of like
Yeah.
80s and 90s wrestling. Um, this guy is, and he was always there. So all the way through WCW, I guarantee he would have had phone calls from Vince at some point in that
Oh yeah.
90s period. And he was loyal. Probably an
Too
argument
loyal.
could be to a fault, really, with what was going on.
Yeah.
But he was fucking loyal. And if we haven't really got much apart from loyalty in life, have we really? And that says a lot about him as a
Yeah.
person and him as a man. Um, it's a special thing to be the guy who was there all the way through from when it swapped from JCP to WCW all the way through to its end. So he was there forever. He was the
Mm.
one of the one constants that was always there in
Yeah.
WCW. He was probably the only one because Flair got fired a couple of times and he was gone.
Yeah, it's true.
So
Yeah.
I think I don't know anybody else who probably any wrestlers who would have been there from start to finish. Maybe Arn,
No.
maybe Arn Anderson, but he retired, so there's an argument for that. But yeah, just you look at some of that who's who list of people who he's wrestled in WCW was fucking special. It
Yeah.
really was. And that last Nitro, him and Flair ending the last Nitro was the first Nitro ended with that the
It's
hug
fitting,
in the
right?
middle of the ring. Amazing.
Very, very fitting.
Yeah.
Again, potentially we'll talk about that later on.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's a possibility. And you know, that's actually a good transition point there because obviously we know WCW got bought over by WWE, WWF, WWE now. And Sting famously didn't go to WWE or F at the time. And there were many reasons for that. I think he was nursing injuries, etc. He wanted time to recover. And there was actually an interview, I was trying to find it earlier on today, but it was he decided it was not for him. And it was
Mm-hmm.
a segment with Booker T and The Rock on SmackDown when Booker T interrupted The Rock and The Rock like we waited until Booker T did his shtick, and then simply said, "Who in the blue hell are you?" And Sting felt that was a disrespect to WCW in terms of what they had done, and that was the sort of final nail in the coffin of why he wouldn't have went to WWF from WCW, which is a great loss. And again, we'll talk about that later. And then I don't know how many years it was until we next saw Sting in the ring because he then showed up at TNA, right?
So he done sporadic appearances for World Wrestling All Stars,
Right. Okay.
who are like they're a, at one point they were funded very very well, and they done shows over here. I think they done shows in Dublin and Scotland and like all over the world. I think they were like New Zealand and all this sort of stuff. So that was like there were Steiners were on there. Jeff Jarrett was involved in that with the World Wrestling All Stars. So it was more of like a big high level independent show basically. So he done a lot of stuff that in between period of when because the contract ran out in it was 2002 because he saw out the rest of it because he was one of the guys that was on an AOL contract, not a WCW contract.
Right. Okay.
So when WCW went tits up and WWF bought all the rights, they ported all those contracts over. But the contracts that a few of the guys had were with AOL Time Warner. So they were offered, I think it was like 20 cents on the dollar or something to like buy these contracts out, but they didn't have to do it. So
Yeah.
he was just, fuck, I'll stay at home until the contract runs out. And then he started doing those sporadic appearances. So his TNA stuff was 2003. So there was about a year's gap basically between that. And it was 2003. So where he signed with TNA originally when it was NWA and there was 4 appearances. His initial contract was 4 appearances a year.
Okay.
And that was in 2003.
What we should do is probably just go through the championships he won in JCP and WCW. So he was a one-time NWA World Television Champion, a one-time NWA World Heavyweight Champion, WCW International World Heavyweight Champion twice, WCW United States Heavyweight Champion twice, WCW World Heavyweight Champion 6 times, WCW World Tag Team Champion 3 times, once with Lex Luger, once with the Giant, and once with Kevin Nash. Appeared in the Battle Bowl, Battle Royale, European Cup, Ironman Tournament, the Jim Crockett Senior Memorial Cup. King of Cable Tournament, London Lethal Lottery Tag Team Championship Tournament, WCW United States Championship Tournament in 91-95, World Cup of Wrestling, and he was the third WCW Triple Crown Champion. So...
Now breathe. That's a phenomenal list, isn't it? He won everything pretty much twice, basically. So, yeah, amazing talent. It just goes to show, like, you look at that. Obviously, stats and stuff with wrestling, it's all worked and stuff, but that is a big old list. It's a big old list of achievements. Legend. Amazing. Yeah.
And then, as I said, he went to TNA and he was involved in some major storylines in TNA, right? In terms of main event Mafia, he was in TNA, was a world heavyweight champion like 4 or 5 times, I think. It was insane. So, I mean, we can go through that at the end as well. But again, having someone with that legendary status of Sting in TNA helped greatly. Now, I think we have said in the past about TNA when like Hogan and Bischoff came in and like, you know, they were bringing in people from years gone by. That's very true. But you can't classify Sting as the, you know, past their prime because he was still putting on absolute classic matches.
Yeah, great matches. Yeah, great matches.
Know, it was like
and he's only just got into his 40s as well, so he wasn't an old man. He wasn't an old guy. He was probably 41, 42 at the time when he came in. Yeah. So he wasn't he wasn't an elderly gentleman or an elderly statesman. He was an older guy, but you look at AJ Styles, he's like 44, 45 now.
Mm-hmm.
You look at the state Styles at the minute, Jesus, it's one of those. Yeah, he done some amazing stuff. Feuds with Jeff Jarrett for the title, feuds with Christian for the title. God, did he have a feud with Steiner? Might have had a feud with Steiner. Obviously feud with Jeff Jarrett.
Mm-hmm.
Like a really famous match at Victory Road with the whole shenanigans and the goings down there. So
Kurt Angle.
Fucking hell, yeah. It's
crazy. It's the who's who's, right? It's in terms of, if you think about modern wrestling, we talked about Angle, we talked about Steiner, but like you've got the AJ Styles, Samoa Joe, you know, he recognised his position in the business where he could elevate those talents, and they were already talents anyway, right? But he gives them an air of legitimacy in terms of a company in TNA, and you know, and we talk about those tweaks to his character. Joker Sting was mental, right? It's fucking crazy, but it was so good. Again, if you haven't seen any of Joker Sting from TNA, check it on YouTube. It's just he's so good. Fucking just some of his TNA stuff.
He was crazy, right? And it was sort of like it was hokey, but it wasn't too far.
Yeah.
It was like just on the edge of like being like, what the fuck is going on? But it was really entertaining. Like it was really, really entertaining. I with all the blurred paint and just walking into like Bischoff's office and just saying mad shit and then like walking back out again, just like it was crazy. Yeah, it's good. Good fun.
So good. And he was the first TNA and Hall of Fame inductee, right?
Yes, he was. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So,
yeah.
And again, it shows the impact. Whether it was rightly or wrongly, that's up for much debate. You know, should it have been someone that was a TNA original?
Like Dixie Carter?
No. But yeah, he won so many things in TNA as well, you know, and as I say, that I think the main event Mafia was one of the better stables in TNA. I mean, it got to sort of NWO type style where like everybody and their granny wanted to be in the main event Mafia, but I think the original concept of it was so good. And again, going from the, you know, the Crow gimmick to that sort of main event Sting was really, really cool. And again, it just shows the tweaks in his ability. But yeah, so obviously, is there anything else you want to add about his TNAs?
No, it's just just a special thing for TNA, and it elevated, like you say, it elevated TNA to be not one of those upstarts. It cemented them as a serious promotion, serious wrestling company, definitely.
Absolutely. And then Hell Froze Over happened
again.
Again, hell froze over, and the thing that everybody wanted to happen, potentially years before, actually happened, and Sting went to WWE. There were certainly moments within there. It's like certain memorable moments for Sting in WWE. I mean, the one that comes to mind is I think this is in the second sort of re-debut. It's in terms of when they're doing the statue for Seth Rollins, and they pull it up and Sting standing there. That was cool as fuck, man.
You're automatically over if you come out of a box. It's well known in the wrestling world. If you come out of a box, you are a big deal. So yeah,
not an egg. Definitely not an egg.
No. But yeah, that was a cool moment. That was
it was
cool
so
pop.
Good. And then
WrestleMania
obviously
31.
That's the one.
Yeah.
Now, should he have went over at WrestleMania 31?
He was never going to go over. It was never going to happen.
That's not the question. Yes.
The main guy who was working for the other company, who I've been trying to push down for so long, beat my guy. So if I was booking it, I would have booked it the same way. I probably maybe might have done something where nobody won and nobody lost, just to be a twat. If I could really do it, not a twat, but like just to be like, oh. But the right decision was made. You had to have the WWE guy beat him. You had to.
Would you have given? Was Triple H the right person? Because Triple H didn't need it, in terms of that. It could have given.
Who else? Who else would you? It's the NWO. One, right? NWO and the DX were the things, weren't they? In that Attitude Era, so it made perfect sense. Triple H is well known as a Vince WWF guy, WWE guy. Sting was the WCW guy. It made sense to put them together. The story was already written, right? They didn't need to because that match wasn't who can we use Sting to get over? That was a WCW versus WWE. That's all that was for.
Let's put a final nail in WCW.
Another one, yeah.
But again, if they wanted to do that, why not Taker versus Sting?
I think it's a different story. It's a different story. Taker and Sting I've said this before. That would have been the match that I would have only had. I wouldn't have had Sting do anything else in WWE apart from that one match. And I would have built that match for 12 months. And I wouldn't have done anything else. It would have been Taker and Sting and done that crazy, fucking mad finish at the end where they just disappear in a big cloud of smoke after getting hit by fucking lightning on the stage or something. And that would have been it for both of them. Done.
All that would have been remaining is a black baseball bat and Undertaker's hat.
Undertaker's hat, basically. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's what I would have done. People have laughed at me about that, Steve. People have laughed at me, but that's what I would have done. It would have been amazing. It would have been so good. But yeah, just the story was there for that.
It was a decade too late, though, right? In terms of it wouldn't have been as good. See if
maybe even 5 years earlier. Maybe if it was 2010 or something. I think it might have been all right-ish. I think they probably both could have worked a little bit more as well. Because Sting looked old in that match as well.
He did, yeah. It was either a decade too late or a decade too early, because could you imagine the cinematic matches they could have done together? That would have been epic. The Taker did it with AJ. That would have been
That's an interesting shout. Very interesting shout.
That could have been so good.
I'm not a massive fan of the cinematic stuff, but I like that cutting out jib. I can see where they're going there. I see where
but the AJ Taker one was really good.
It's the best one of the lot.
100%, yeah. And I think with the sheer and that is down to the professionalism of Taker and AJ, though, right? And can you just imagine the intricate storyline they could have weaved in with that with Taker and Sting, and that could have resulted in your finish. You know what I mean? Which would have been incredible. Your finish would have been a really difficult thing to do in front of a live crowd.
If what's his name? That magician. What's his name? Really famous magician. Completely gone out my head.
Paul Daniels? I don't know.
Paul Daniels, that'll do. If he can make a fucking elephant disappear or a cruise ship disappear or whatever, they could have made Taker and
Yeah.
Sting disappear.
Who would have been
What's
so
his name?
good?
Copperfield. David
David
Copperfield.
Copperfield, yeah.
If Copperfield can make a cruise ship disappear, then they could have done that.
So obviously Sting got inducted into the 2016 Hall of Fame, but that was after his injury that essentially should have finished his career, right? It was a turnbuckle bomb that Seth Rollins did on him.
Booker Bomb, Night of Champions, it was. Yeah.
The
title match.
Not the. On you go.
I was going to say he was meant to get surgery. He was going to get surgery, and then he didn't get surgery because he said, "I feel okay." There's conversation that if he did have the surgery, then that definitely would have been it. Like completely would have been it. And he was like, well, "I feel all right. Like I'm not getting any of the symptoms, like the long-term symptoms that you would normally get from because it's spinal stenosis."
Yeah.
Spinal stenosis. So there you go. I knew it's there somewhere. I play all the right notes, guys, just not necessarily in the right order. All right. But spinal, he said, I don't get any of the normal symptoms that are coming with it, so I don't want to get my surgery if I don't need it. And that's probably the best decision he made.
Yeah, absolutely.
Time.
Yeah, 100%. You know, he was fit, healthy, and he found the ability to come back and obviously went into AEW and a rip-roaring success in AEW.
Fucking mad when you think about it, isn't it? At the age of he would have been 60 at the time?
Must have been, yeah.
Have a look. So I want to see how old he is. Sorry.
Who was he?
Sting, not the musician. He's 64. Yeah, so 2020 he debuted, so he would have been 60 when he debuted. Amazing. Amazing.
You know, and he's still a big guy, right? And
well, he looks like a fucking monster in the ring with all them lot. Jesus.
You know, and we say it before, we do shit on AEW a lot, but the way they book Sting, you've got to hold your hand up and say, yeah, fair dues, it was booked really well, but how much of that was down to him and how much of that was down to Tony Khan? You know, it was very similar to the Punk MGF thing. Was it a case of you just go and do what you need to do? I don't know. Thoughts?
I think they position him with people who could. Obviously, Darby Allin is just like the prime person to give him, and the matches that he was having. Like I can remember they done a cinematic match, didn't they? When they done it was Hobbs and Guevara. Mm-hmm. They done that tag match when they were in that like warehouse thing. So they got Guevara who can bump. They had Hobbs, who was a big guy that would add credibility, but he was a younger guy, so he could bump for him as well. All these guys who they've had these tag matches with, they've had people who are willing to take the bumps for him. And also, Darby Allin in these tag matches will take the heat. Yeah. He's got no issue, and everybody wants to see the comeback from Sting. Bless me. Thank you. Everyone wants to see the comeback from Sting, right? And just work. You accentuate the positives and hide the negatives. Very, very simple.
Simple wrestling, right?
That they had the match with Muta in 2022 or whatever it was, 23. That's just...
that Muta's final goodbye thing was his tour thing, right?
Dude, like... It's 2020... I'm sure it was 2022.
It would have been, yeah.
You got Sting and the Great Muta in the ring in 2022. How mental is that? That's mad. It's mental. Mental. But it was amazing. His final bye-bye. Like, it was just so good. So he was making moments still at 60-odd, 62, 63 or whatever. Like, that's crazy, right? It's crazy.
That's why he's one of the best ever, and that's why he's got to be in a discussion for like a Rushmore of wrestling, right? It
has to be.
It has to be. Lock in for WCW Rushmore, right? Like that's that. I don't think that's even a debate. I think he's a lock in for a WCW version.
It's going to be Flair and Sting are going to be the absolute slam dunkers.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah,
and then but overall wrestling, he's definitely in the conversation. You know, being a main event star in every sort of promotion that he went into, it's like he's it'd be disrespectful not to have him in that conversation. And he went on an amazing run, winning the tag team titles in AEW with Darby Allin, which was a great pairing. Again, I don't dislike Darby. I don't think he's going to be the guy. He'll be a guy, like upper mid card, definitely. But it was a fantastic pairing. It was a sort of perfect marriage of the two. Like you say, because Darby will just take the bumps and he'll take the heat, whatever. But yeah, and they went on this unbelievable sort of like undefeated streak, or Sting went on this undefeated streak within AEW, which is incredible. And then obviously we have his final match that we're going to watch in the middle of our list, between which we usually do a fumble or something, but we're going to watch me and Hawxy together. We'll talk through it a little bit. Not a full watch along, but yeah, just want to see the different moments, because we've obviously seen spots, as I said at the beginning, but
I haven't seen anything yet at all.
You've not seen anything?
I've seen no, like I've managed to stay away. Like, it's very easy for me because I'm not a big social guy, so it's been very, very easy for me. So I started watching the show the other night. So I've watched the Christian Cage match and Daniel Garcia match, which was really good fun, by the way. And then I watched the Daniel Bryan and Kingston match, which was as a 90s Japanese match you will ever see without two Japanese people, and it being 1993 or whatever. Wow. So, yeah. But I haven't seen anything else. Seen no spoilers, seen no results, nothing. I don't know anything at all. So I'll be going in this completely blind.
Okay, yep. It'll be good to see your reaction. Like I say, I know a couple of things that happen in there, but we'll get to that in due course. But, is there anything else you want to say about this, Hawxy? I think...
No, mate. I think the more and more we do this sometimes, the more and more I sort of talk myself into thinking, wow, like why don't I speak about this guy more than I do, or whatever, like, yeah. Especially with Sting. Like, when you look at this, we've only spent 20 minutes or whatever going through it, and they were just quick little snippets. There's so much stuff. If you look at like bullet points of his stuff in wrestling, it's just crazy. And he's great talent, great wrestler.
100%. Okay, what we do now is we usually take a break between our lists and we do something slightly different. We either talk about something that shouldn't have happened in wrestling with Royal Fumble. We haven't done one this season, I don't think. We talk about more news. No, we haven't. We need to think one. Let us know what you want for a Royal Fumble. Let's talk about wrestling. But what we're going to do is it's a Sting special episode. We're going to watch Sting's last match. Now, Hawxy hasn't seen it, hasn't seen any of it. I've seen, I've heard about different spots in here, but we're going to watch it together. It's not going to be for the entire duration that you'll hear us talk about it, but that's the plan. Did you get the link, Hawxy? Yeah,
I have got the link, and I am. The link is open.
Yep,
and we are ready to go.
0-0, 27 minutes, 26 seconds. Right. Okay. So, right. Tell me, fucking you. Jesus Christ, that's loud.
Seek and destroy.
Tell me when.
0-0-0. Yep. Ready to go.
You want to count us in?
3, 2, 1, play.
Okay, so we've got Sting coming into the ring, yeah?
I love the fact that he started to use Metallica as his entrance.
Yeah.
It's fucking so sick.
Well, there we go.
Out. Nice hot start. Close that window down. It's too fucking big for me.
I still don't like this fucking Matt and Nick Jackson. Sting Splash.
Oh, what a moment.
Sting's Sons. That's pretty cool.
Fuck me.
He's a big boy, right?
He looks like him, doesn't he? That's fucking nuts.
Fucking hell.
That is so cool. That's...
Fuck me.
That great leaping ability too, right? He literally... Oh my fucking God.
That's scary as fuck, man.
Look at him fucking... That's so sick. Okay, I'm here for this bit.
That's a moment.
Some people might moan about this, but I'm here for this bit. This is why it's... Oh, fucking hell.
All right, fair play to the Bucks. They're
giving the people what they want, right?
Double. No fucking way. Turn them. Come on. That's cool. That's a great spot.
It's sick. They were able to regal free. Bit of a Freudian slip by Excalibur there. Thank you, Sting.
Thank you, Sting chant.
They are going to take over at some point, aren't
Yeah, they've got to.
they? Yeah. So, like, they're just giving Sting out, and he's no selling it, which I don't like. I've got a near 2-year-old son, and even when he fucking accidentally hits you in the face, it fucking gives you a shock and it fucking hurts sometimes. You're getting punched by a grown man, it's gonna hurt. Don't no sell it. The fat Stings, that is freaking me the fuck out.
It's really scary.
That. Even his body shape and like his stance, like his stature, it literally looks like you're looking at him. It's freaking me out.
Moving furniture out here.
I love Jim Ross. The fact that he's got his last call as well, it's so good.
Yeah.
He's very slow at the minute. I know they're just trying to have a bit of fun with it. The guy got left hanging. The guy go for the fish boat. Sorry.
Right, come on, Bucks. Don't be dicks. Just fucking play.
Flare bump. They give him a flare bump. That's good fun. I'll get in the bin, mate. See you later. Just happened to be stood in exactly the right spot.
Still don't like that move.
It's fucking sick. But that was shit. Why didn't Sting just hold them? And then move out the way? Hey, what are we trying to find? So, like, there's lots and lots of stuff has been...
Oh, fuck off.
So there's Sting's just brought out a pane of glass. Please don't break it. Imagine if he smashed it. If he shattered it.
You fucked up.
Oh, there's two. Oh my god. Guys, what are we doing?
I mean, you've even got the fucking cardboard between the two panes of glass. Fuck off.
Oh no. So what they're doing here, so Darby Allin and Surfer Sting are putting a plane of glass on top of some chairs that are set up on the outside, like just next to the entranceway, basically. Is this going to be just an absolute fucking shit show of this all? I knew this was going to happen. I said this, didn't I? When I said there was going to be a tornado tag match, it's just going to be shit. It's going to be dog shit. So Sting was going to hit one of the Bucks, and the Buck moved out the way, and Sting hit the glass pane with the baseball bat, and it didn't break, so he just immediately hit it again to smash it. Oh dear. Oh dear. We don't need the Gaga, mate, do we? I don't think so. Is that me being too harsh on this or not?
Who the fuck is that?
Someone there?
I was talking about the ass that we just saw.
I missed the ass. I'll go back and watch this. Pause it.
Mark 6 minutes in. It's pandering to the fucks in that audience. That's what it's all about. It's a spot fest.
But they're in Carolina. They're in Kakalaki, aren't they? They're in Sting's gaff. It's their first show that they've sold out in a long time, and they've sold it out because it's going to be Sting's final match, not a Young Bucks match. It's for Sting. Oh, Falcon Arrow through a couple of tables. Obviously, the punch and walk thing annoys me. So Sting was no selling his punches earlier on, but now he's
selling them.
So he's trying to hip toss him off the stage. Sting on the comeback. He's got him in the Scorpion Death Drop position and gauge the eyes. He's going to suplex him. It looks like he's going to suplex him off. The guys who ain't watching this are just fucking... Oh, he has suplexed him through the tables. How else would you... We're going to take this opportunity to have a discussion about what we could have done here rather than this. Okay? Who in AEW right now who's healthy, who could Sting have had a match against and it be a credible wrestling match and him to get his greatest hits in and have a really good match? I've got an ad right now, by the way.
Pause it. I think it just shows the lack of stars, though, right? I mean, I honestly don't know. It's like
Who
I'm
is
already.
on the roster?
Well, in terms of people that can go, like in terms of having a good match, because we go through the sort of main event talent. You've got Daniel Bryan or Bryan Danielson,
Yeah.
Cesaro. Sorry, Claudio Castagnoli.
Yeah.
John Moxley. Wouldn't want it Moxley.
Play.
All right, okay. 1, 2, 3, play. I don't know. I honestly don't know. Fuck the Young Bucks, Jan.
Could they have done something with Jeff Jarrett? I'm not saying this is what I'm thinking. I'm just thinking, thinking out loud. Could they have done something with Jeff Jarrett, similar to like Flair and Sting in the last? Because Jarrett would have got a really good match out of him, and I think they could have. Jarrett could have got some real heat leading up to this, and Sting could have just given him his comeuppance and just got onto him.
That would have been really good, because what they could have done like a Sting Darby Allin versus a Jeff Jarrett and Jay Lethal, and then that's a natural fit for the Ric Flair thing, right?
Yes.
They retire Ric Flair. You know, I'm going to retire Sting too.
There we go. So they're just setting up Darby Allin like a little powerbomb kind of position.
I'm not in for this match, mate. Honestly, it's
bad, isn't it? They powerbombed him on a ladder. What's your timestamp, mate? I'm at 9 minutes and 8 seconds. 9,
10, 11, 12, 13.
There we go. It's good going. They think they're over as well, don't they, the Bucks right now? They think they've got heat.
Yeah. It's the wrong heat, boys. It's the wrong heat.
Nick Jackson looks like fucking Johnny Depp. With his little shitty fucking tash and goatee. I love that move. That flip over cutter thing is so sick. I love that. Here we go. Code red. Beautiful. Quicker than a hiccup, mate.
Yeah.
So good. I really rate Darby Allin. I really, really do. We've had this conversation before.
Yeah.
I think he's fucking great. I really do think he's great.
Like, don't get me wrong. I think he is really. He's a big ladder.
Tall, isn't he? Sorry, mate. Go on.
No, I was gonna say. I was like, I rate Darby Allin. He's very, very good. It's just, as I say, as a main, I know exactly what's going to happen here.
He's going to go through this glass, isn't he? So Darby Allin's just walked under the ladder as well. So Darby Allin has set up the big tall ladder. That ladder's at least 15, 18 feet high, that ladder. It's like Jeff Hardy height, isn't it? Like one of his big ones. He's just set it up on the inside of the ring, right opposite where the glass is set up on those tables.
So far we've had two table spots.
Yeah, back to back.
You know?
They went through 4 tables because there was 2 tables either side. Oh no, Darby, please. Oh my god! Oh my god, look at the state of him. Oh my god! Fuck this, mate.
Fucking hell,
man. The fucking glass went into the front row of the crowd. Did you see that?
It's a fucking lawsuit waiting to happen. It's just fucking... Fuck me.
Oh
man.
My god. Sorry if we've gone quite... I know this is an audio thing. It is visual as well if you're watching on Spotify and YouTube, but fucking hell. Darby Allin is fucked right now.
But to what end? Why?
That's
like fucking spot for spot's sake,
isn't it?
Right?
It's the big spot in the match. It's the memorable spot in the match. That's what that's, and that is a memorable spot. That is one of the most fucked up things they've done in this on this.
It's a memorable spot, but for the wrong reasons.
Yeah.
Right. You know, at least when like the Dudleys and was it Bubba Ray and Matt Hardy went through the tables in the TLC. At least the tables give you some sort of impact. There was fucking nothing there for him. He could have legitimately died there.
Yes. Fuck the Young Bucks. I agree. I do like those backhand punches that Sting used to do. Because I think it's cool because he can like... It's almost like throwing left and right hands at the same time, isn't it?
Yeah.
He always struggles with... with his feet catching up with his body. It's a struggle. Sick. That's a cool little move. Sit down, prick.
Sit down, fucker. Harder.
Yeah. Just don't stop choking him. What? Darby Allin.
He's fucked.
He can't. Surely he can't do anything. The amount of lacerations on his. Oh, what's Sting doing? He's not going to do it because Matt's creeping back in. Look. Oh, there you go. No, there's another glass. Where's he just got that glass pane from?
Fuck off. Sting has been through fucking two tables this match.
Is he gonna? Yes, he is. Do it! And Sting!
Oh, fuck off.
No.
Fuck off.
So Sting's gone through the glass plane. He's had a low blow, and he's had a Scorpion Death Drop hit on him by Nick Jackson. This match is like, we're 15 minutes in and we've had 2, 4, 5, maybe 6 hospitalization angles in this one match. And they've all been near falls. Well, they didn't try and pin Darby Allin after he nearly committed suicide, so...
Why is he busted open?
I think he got hardwayed. Is that Steamboat?
Yeah.
Oh, Dick Blood.
Yes.
Oh.
Nature Boy.
The Nature Boy! Woo! I've got another ad. Fuck's sake.
Pause.
Tesco Mobile. Makes
Fuck
me not want to use them.
Fuck Tesco.
Another one. Sorry, guys. How am I getting ads and you're not?
Don't know. I'm just built different.
Scottish internet, mate.
That's what it is, mate.
God damn you, English internet.
Fuck you. Oh, dear. I've just looked as well on our YouTube channel. Apparently, we've had a comment on the last week's episode, so I'll do that at the end of the show as well. So
nice.
We'll talk that through.
Nice work. We're back.
Okay, 3, 2. I'm on 1604, by the way.
Yep.
Right,
3, 2,
2,
1.
1. Play.
Flair's there.
Yep.
Get out the way. Trying to protect him. Ah. Fuck off! He told him to fuck off! Enough. Fuck
Getting
off.
super kicked, isn't he? Flair does not look well, man, does he?
He doesn't. Some blood pressure going on there, isn't there? Steamboat's had a fucking brain hemorrhage, hasn't he?
Mm-hmm.
Shit! That was snug.
Stiff. This is a paint by numbers box match, though. It's like cheap pop after cheap pop after cheap pop.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a hat on a hat, isn't it? On a hat, on a hat, on a hat. Dude, they could have done this. They could have done this so much better. They really could have done this so much better. Just, oh god, they look fucking weird as well, don't they? They look really weird. Shit.
Do the thing. Do the thing.
Yes! Fucking sit down! I love that Scorpion Death Drop, by the way.
So good. The slowest count in the world.
I hate that ref.
He's fucking terrible. Oh no.
No, no, no. Oh, thank fuck for that. I wouldn't want to be counting those
Referee's fucking
pinfalls.
more unhealthy than Flair. Jesus Christ.
I was going to make a really bad joke then, but I remember with PG-14.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I know exactly what you're going to do.
I really like that Sting t-shirt.
I was going to try and get it for this podcast, but I couldn't get it in time.
Oh, it's so sick. I want to get one.
Talking about the pink multicolored one, yeah?
Long Lane. Yes. Yeah. The new one. Yeah.
Fuck off, Bucks.
Thank you so much. Oh, yeah. I think Darby Allin might actually just be dead. We haven't seen him? Shit. Yes, he can get it one!
Fucking go.
Hulk it up! Do it! His mouth's bleeding.
Yeah. That last BV
Yeah.
was fucking tight.
That's fucking it! You're going to try and hit the Meltzer driver on him? Oh no. The TK driver. Oh my god, that makes me feel sick.
Darby is fucked, man.
1, 2. He has to tap out. Oh my goodness. This is a snuff film. This is an arresting match. This is it.
It's got to be.
Turned it up a little bit. Yes! I'd love to know what Darby's saying to him right now.
Yeah. I think I've got glass in my back. Interesting.
Ah. Tony on commentary then said like it was amazing to come on this journey with you pair.
Yeah.
And Jim Ross said, "Oh, we brought the young kid along with us as well, like talking about Excalibur," which I think that's a nice little touch. That's so cool.
Hmm.
They're still the champs.
Really surprised. I mean,
how do they get out of this? To just give the title up and give it to somebody else? I don't know.
Probably.
Give it to his son. Give it to Surfer Sting's son. We'll fucking spit an image of him. Darby Allin's back is absolutely disgusting.
It's in tatters.
It's like fucking corned beef. Jesus Christ.
Still maintaining it's an unnecessary spot.
Massively. He wants to have the big spot in Sting's last match, right? It's Sting! That was an absolute car crash from the second the bell rang.
Yeah, let's talk it through, Hawxy.
Okay, I want to go back to 6 minutes and see where that thing was, just really quickly. Yeah. Yep. So, dude,
Yeah.
I don't really know where to start with that. If anyone who's watching this have seen it, you'll probably know why we're a bit like, what the fuck? If you liked it, then Mark out of 10 probably isn't the podcast for you. That was That was rough, right? That was rough.
When you think of last matches of superstars, right, and we're
Mm-hmm.
talking genuine legends,
Mm-hmm.
you know, I always think of Ric Flair's last match against Shawn Michaels,
Yeah.
right?
The
You
proper
know,
last match. Yeah.
that's a
The proper
proper
one.
last match. You know,
Yeah.
you think about Austin, you know, like obviously Austin's came back and stuff, but in terms of like pinnacle of career, like Rock Austin, brilliant match.
Michaels and Tager.
Michael's Taker, you know, it just it's really disappointing. I think it doesn't do justice to how good Sting was. There's just so many. I mean, I don't know. I don't know, mate. I'm struggling to sort of analyze it and comprehend why we had the spots that we had. Didn't need the glass. Glass was unnecessary. Um, you know, we
What they've done is they say, okay, what we're going to do is we're going to have your last match. Well, this is the match that it's going to be. It's going to be the Bucks against Sting and Darby, and it's going to be your last match. But obviously, Sting, you can't wrestle a normal match anymore, can you? You know what I mean? Because you're old and you're tired and your cardio isn't as good. So what we're going to do is we're going to fill 20 minutes with mental shit because we know you can do that, and it'll be really big and it'll be really mental, and everyone will talk about this match forever and ever and ever because somebody's going to go through a pane of glass, and then you're going to win. Like everyone's going to talk about that forever. Everyone's probably going to talk about that forever for the wrong
wrong reasons.
reasons.
I mean, even
Shit
if
the bed, mate.
we never wanted the Young Bucks to be the last match, right? But what
Nope.
it was always going to be, right? That's fine. Why the fuck was it not just a normal tag team match? And you're absolutely right. Okay, you have the Young Bucks, who are supposedly one of the best tag teams in the world. Okay, we know different, but you know are supposed to be one of the
We
best tag
definitely know
teams in the
different
world,
now.
right?
Yeah.
Let's showcase the Young Bucks and how good they are as a tag team, right? Put Darby Allin in there first of all, and let Matt and Nick Jackson tag team the shit out of them, right? Quick tags, get all their shit in because they like their shit, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is Darby going to get the hot tag to Sting? No, they cut him off. More offense. Darby gets an absolute pasting. Is Darby going to get the build up, because everybody's there for Sting?
Mm-hmm.
Then eventually, when the crowd's right, get the hot tag. Sting has his cut a big moment. Fucking the crowd would go mental.
The roof would blow off the top of that place on a big hot tag.
You
Proper
know,
hot tag.
massive, a proper hot tag,
Yeah.
and then you know,
They
Scorpion
could have
Death Drop.
Steamboat and Flair involved. They could have
Mm-hmm.
done that sort of stuff. They could have done the thing with his sons before the match. The
Yep.
bell rang. They could have worked that in. Like they could have done what they sort of did, but in a normal match. 100%. Yeah.
Thing is, the ref bump, all it takes is a Darby Allin doing a coffin drop on one of the Bucks. The other one pulls them away like they did for the glass spot, pulls the referee into him. The
Yep.
referee goes down, and then you get of all that shenanigans, etc.
Mm-hmm.
It just, once again, it's about spots and matches, and it's not about booking properly, you know, and it's just really disappointing. And like you say, people are going to talk about it for the wrong reasons.
Mm-hmm. We've spoke about some mental shit tonight. WCW did.
Yeah,
This
that's up
is
there.
one of those things. This will
It's
be
up
one of
there.
those things. Yeah, 1,000,000%. Oh, Sting's last match. Oh, it's amazing. No, 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 no. Did you see it? Have you watched it? Sting won. Amazing. Big pop. Brilliant. He won.
Yeah.
But they should have put
Surprised
that.
he won. Surprised he didn't go out on his back.
Very, very surprised. Very surprised.
But doesn't that tell you everything that a legend like Sting, you know, it's a sort of unwritten rule, right? If you're going to go out, if you're a big star, you go out on your back.
Mm-hmm.
Why didn't he do that? Want to be one of the boys. We said it all along.
Yep. Fuck that shit, mate. Fuck that noise. Bullshit.
Rubbish.
Shite. Human
Shit.
dog shit.
Not a fan. As
I
Hawxy
need to
says,
check if Darby Allin's actually alive, though. I'm just going to have a quick Google of Darby Allin just to see if he's actually alive. Because that was fucking crazy. Darby Allin says there's no guarantee he'll return from Mount Everest if he does anything like that when he's up there. Definitely. That's crazy. Fucking hell.
Oh dear. Anyway, Hawxy. Right, let's get back onto our list. Speaking of fucking shit shows, really disappointed. Anyway, if we're giving it a mark out of 10,
a fucking 2. Sorry, I'll give it a 3 for the pop at the end for Sting winning. But that was a hard watch. And that wasn't a hard watch as in like a fucking like, oh, that was a difficult watch because that was grim as well as annoying as well as shit. 3 out of 10 for me, just with the Sting one.
I'm going 2.5.
There you
go. Not for me. Not for me at all.
Not at all.
And you know what? If that is modern wrestling, I don't want any of it. I'm out. Exactly. Anyway, fair play to Stein.
If you disagree, anyone who's listening to this, I bet that we would guarantee we'll probably do a little bit of a TikTok thing about this or whatever. If you disagree with our summation of this match, please get in touch and tell us why. We're not going to shit on you too much, but just get in touch at @mark_out of10, drop comment on the YouTube, the TikTok, all that sort of stuff. Email, message, whatever you want to do, get in touch. But that's a big
thumbs down for
Mark out of 10, definitely. Yeah.
And that's what it says. If you disagree, that's absolutely fine. Let us know. Justify it, because justification is everything.
It's art. If you can justify it, tell me. I'll tell you while you're wrong, but you can just try and justify it. But there you go.
Okie dokie. Right, let's move on.